In 1993, Tom Cruise starred in the legal thriller The Firm, an adaptation of John Grisham's best-selling novel directed by Sidney Pollack.
I'm your lawyer, gentlemen.
Originally, the plan was different. The film was supposed to be directed by the star himself. By that point, Cruise had already worked with some of the most respected directors in Hollywood: Martin Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, Oliver Stone, and both Ridley and Tony Scott. Watching those filmmakers up close had been its own kind of film school. But what kept him out of the director's chair and in front of the firm's cameras was his famous workaholism and perfectionism. At the time, the Top Gun star had just finished shooting A Few Good Men, and production on The Firm was about to begin almost immediately. He barely had time to take off his Navy uniform before putting on Mitch McDear's pinstriped suit. Preparing a directorial debut under that kind of schedule proved unrealistic.
Nope.
So he made a practical decision. He stepped aside and asked veteran filmmaker Sidney Pollack to take over the project. But it wouldn't take long before the actor finally tried directing himself. Not in theaters, for television.
I have no idea.
Fallen Angels was a neo-noir anthology series created for the cable network Showtime by Sidney Pollack. Across 2 seasons, the show produced 15 episodes. Each one was directed by a different filmmaker, scripted by writers steeped in the noir tradition, and performed by well-known actors.
You must be Tony.
Everybody's got to be somebody.
Among the directors were established names like Steven Soderbergh and Peter Bogdanovich. Others were actors experimenting behind the camera, including Tom Hanks and Kiefer Sutherland. The appeal was simple: prestige television, without the commitment of a feature film. Episodes typically took about 5 days to shoot and ran just 30 minutes long.
From the creators of The Firm, out of Africa, The Hand That Rocks the Cradle, Sex, Lies, and Videotape, and The Accused, comes the new Showtime mystery series, Fallen Angels.
While filming The Firm, Pollack encouraged Cruise to direct an episode of the series. He offered him several scripts, and he chose one based on a 1957 short story by Jim Thompson, adapted by the playwright John Robin Bates. Originally, the episode had been assigned to a young Mexican director who had just arrived in Hollywood, Alfonso Cuarón.
Alfonso Cuarón.
Alfonso Cuarón.
Yes, that Alfonso Cuarón. But once Cruise decided this would be his directorial debut, no one was going to tell him no.
Excuse me?
The episode aired on September 5th, 1993. Its title, The Frightening Framus. The story follows Mitch Allison, a small-time con artist played by Peter Gallagher. He borrows $20,000 from his wife Bette, who has just pulled a massive scam. The idea? Multiply the money by hustling passengers on a train headed to Vegas.
Hold on, son.
Naturally, things go wrong. He loses the money and ends up stranded in the middle of the desert.
And so it began.
Then, as fate would have it, a car appears. Inside are a couple of newlyweds. Babe, a mysterious woman, a classic femme fatale Isabella Rossellini seems born to portray.
Need a ride?
And her dim-witted husband Martin, taken on by a very young John C. Reilly, credited at the time simply as John Reilly. But this is a noir story, so the ride leads somewhere else entirely. Before long, there's a crime.
Yeah.
Multiple betrayals. A pair of sadistic mobsters.
The money, Mr. Lansdale.
And one more elaborate con.
Where is she?
A bit of trivia. Rossellini's first name had already inspired Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman when they named their daughter Isabella.
I'll never forget you, Mitch.
Beneath the noir cliches, the story hints at something else. Mitch Allison believes he's a charming leading man, clever, irresistible, impossible to outsmart. Except he isn't. Everyone manipulates him, especially his wife, a far more capable con artist who even seems visually modeled after Nicole Kidman, Cruise's real-life wife at the time.
Nobody kills Mitch Allison. Nobody but me.
Which makes the episode feel oddly self-reflective. A slick movie star type slowly discovering he isn't the hero of the story.
I don't know if I have it in me anymore.
As a director, Cruise leans heavily into the classic visual language of film noir, voiceover narration.
Yeah, that's me. Mitch Allison.
High contrast lighting and deep shadows, jazz on the soundtrack, and an unusually large number of freeze frames.
Look at them. Look at me.
But the episode proved challenging. The actor was used to working on large-scale Hollywood productions, films with budgets around $30 million and months of shooting. The Frightening Framus had a budget of just $700,000 and only 6 days to film. In the end, Cruise admitted he was relieved he hadn't attempted to direct The Firm. Compared to that project, this episode was a much safer place to experiment.
I don't understand you. What'd you do it for? I won my life back. You don't run me, and they don't run me.
The series as a whole received generally positive reviews. Cruise's episode did not. Critics specifically targeted the direction, arguing that the stylistic choices pushed the episode too far. In the LA Times, critic Chris Willman wrote in his review, "Weakest is The Frightening Framus, Tom Cruise's directing debut. The Jim Thompson-based story of grifters isn't too meaty anyway, and Cruise unfortunately fleshes it out by camping the whole thing up. And perhaps that reaction explains what happened next, because after The Frightening Framus, Tom Cruise never directed again." If you're curious, you can actually find The Frightening Framus here on YouTube, so check it out and see for yourself. Hope you like it. Thanks for watching.